Hey friends, it's Kurt from Transformative Journeys. It's been a little while since I put one of these up. I like to make these videos outdoors when I'm out riding my motorcycle, and you may be aware that here in California we had some pretty fierce weather for a little bit more than the first half of January, so I really wasn't kind of in the mood to go out and make these in the rain. Anyway, so apologies for that. And what I'm back with you to talk about today is another motorcycle mindfulness exercise, and this one's kind of subtle, but I think it's something worth being aware of. And so let's talk about this one. So what I want to talk about is in terms of front contact patch versus rear contact patch. You know, contact patch being where your tires actually are in contact with the ground. I want to talk about the weight on those and how that weight changes and how what you do can move it back and forth. Now you probably know about weight transfer. You've experienced it directly, or you've heard about it in your CMSP or MSF class. And they talk about it a lot in reference to emergency braking, right? That you get that weight transfer onto the front wheel as you apply the brakes, and the more that weight transfers on, the more grip there is at that contact patch, and the more you can load it. And similarly, when you accelerate, so when you do a wheelie, 100% of your weight's on the rear wheel, right? So, but even short of doing a wheelie, when you're accelerating and the back end of the motorcycle sort of squats a little bit, and the front end suspension sort of extends a little bit, you're going to have more weight on the back wheel. And similarly, when you roll off the throttle, even if you don't brake, when you roll off the throttle and get some engine braking, that weight's going to transfer back from the back wheel and on to the front wheel. So even as we just manage the throttle, even if you don't bring brakes in, there's going to be weight transfer that goes back and forth between the back and the front wheel, right? So what I want you to be aware of is where that transition happens as you're riding. As you're going through a turn in particular. So, as you're slowing down for a turn, we already talked about slowing down is going to move weight onto that front contact patch. If you just slow down with engine braking, it's going to be subtle. If you slow down with your brakes, it's going to be a little bit more pronounced. And then when you get on the throttle, of course, depending upon how hard you get on the throttle, et cetera, it's going to make a difference in terms of that weight transfer onto the back wheel. And then in between, there's a whole bunch of subtlety. So what I want you to just be aware of, particularly as you're going through a turn, feel that weight transfer onto the front wheel as you head into the turn, as you slow down for it, and then pay attention to where that weight begins to transfer onto the back wheel. Transfer from the front back towards the back wheel. And just see how that feels, and maybe play with that a little bit. Now there are, lots of reasons why this is a good thing to be aware of, but we won't get into that. Right now, we're just talking about mindfulness, bringing yourself into the moment. That's the point of these motorcycle mindfulness exercises, just bring yourself into the moment, make yourself aware. So give that a shot. Let me know how it works out for you. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.